Back at the Rancheria Trailhead once again. But no Blue Canyon today. Gonna try to get close though. Gonna be attempting the day hike of Tehipite Dome. Should be a challenging day. Now entering the wilderness. It's just about light enough to turn off the headlamp. Got started about an hour later than I was originally planning, just because I managed to talk myself into an extra hour of sleep last night. A lot of lupine blooming in here. I've been passing a bunch already. We'll call this a little teaser. Hopefully it'll still be light and plenty light by the time I get back this way later today. Been kind of surprised to spot a few snowflowers along the trail. At about 8,400 feet right now. There's a big group at the base of that tree. I've reached what I call on my GPS Crown Hill. This may be the high point of the hike today. So now time for some downhill. As we descend into Crown Valley. There's Crown Rock. Right beneath it, Wet Meadow. Some shooting stars out there. And over here by this stream I just crossed. And there's a few mosquitoes around already too. Overall I haven't been too bad, but it could be because I'm moving so fast. Averaging about 3 miles an hour. There's a little stream crossing just past the Crown Valley Ranger Station. Of course, with the streams, here come the flowers. Got lots of big lupine. And some leopard lilies too. Nice bunch of them up here. Almost to the cow camp now. Across a tiny little stream. More flowers. And it's here that I've left myself a little treat for the afternoon. Underneath that rock is a bottle of Gatorade. Another really nice stretch of nice tall lupine. I actually saw a group of people camped about 5 minutes ago. Oh, even got some crimson columbines right there. Should be one of the last trail junctions. It just sounds like such a cool place, doesn't it? Blue Canyon. It certainly was. I'm thinking that might be it over there. She doesn't look like much. Hoping it's gonna deliver. Here's Crown Creek. I must say I'm really glad now that I didn't bother to bring my Tevas. It was an easy enough crossing. I try to take a little dip here on the way out. Probably be nice and hot and sweaty by then. Oh look, we got some Bigelow sneezeweed coming out here. We got black centers. And we've got more yellow centers. And maybe a little of both. Maybe the darker ones eventually turn more yellow. I remember it was a little bit of a trick to get through here and find the trail. This is kind of a tricky stretch in here. There's a little stream coming down. I kind of crossed on this bigger log here. Lots of lupine, shooting stars, and various others. Quite pretty. Kings Canyon should be just ahead. Yep, there we are. Doesn't look much different. Looks like I've come to about the point where I camped the first night on Blue Canyon. Streams are pretty lazy around here. Probably not a good idea to camp here right now. Yep, things are definitely drier this year than 2012. This was the last stream to cross, and today it's looking pretty stagnant. Don't really hear any water flowing either. So probably no more water sources until I get back to Crown Creek. Okay, now I remember this is the last crossing. It's flowing decently enough. I also remember this steep hill right after it too. Okay, I think I'm going to be leaving the trail here because it's about to climb another 200 feet to what I have marked as Tehipite Dome view. I think that's farther than I want to go on the trail. So I'm going to try to head around this way and see if I can shave off some elevation gain. Well, it's getting a little bit tricky. Kind of on the side of a hill here. Trying not to go down unless I have to, which I may eventually. Just got out my trekking pole. Hopefully that'll help with all this side hilling. Made it across the bottom on this big fallen log right here. A little below 7,500 feet, but considering the dome is only about 77, I'm not doing too bad. Now we get to head up the other side and hopefully in the right direction. I think I'm coming to the conclusion that side hilling is no fun. I don't know how much effort I'm saving by not losing elevation. Hopefully it's a little bit clearer sailing ahead. Ah, this is better. I'm going downhill again when I shouldn't be, but that's okay. At least I'm not going along the side of a hill. At least not yet. Aha! I think we're getting somewhere. Here's another hint. Hello, Middle Fork Canyon. Looks like I've even picked up a use trail. That's making the going much easier than it has been for the last 45 minutes. Okay, so I'm out here on this ledge. So I guess out that way is the hard way. Looks pretty hard. Especially because look what's down there. Way down there. That's the Middle Fork of the Kings River. Okay, so I climbed up above the tree. Now it's time for the crux move. Right up there. Come around the backside here. Get up there to this little spot right here. Then you do it Mount Gould style. Success. It's a lot scarier going down because you can't see your exit step until you're almost there. It's like somebody's been having fun with rappels here. Now to finish, I checked it out ahead already. Should be a piece of cake in comparison to that. Okay, technically it was easy, but I'm a little out of breath. I think I'm ready for some lunch. I'll give you some views though first. So we got some pretty impressive gorges over here. I have to consult the map before I tell you what they are. There's the Middle Fork Canyon. There's what I came through. That's Kettle Dome. That's why they call this the Kettle Dome entrance. I think that's Crown Rock way out there. There's a pointy one up there. It might be that obelisk. Kind of where the boundary of Kings Canyon comes to that sharp point. We'll definitely have to look over the edges too. I think I'm ready for some lunch first. Now this is how you do lunch out here in the backcountry. That's a Vaughn's all-meat sandwich with turkey, ham, roast beef, and salami. Not to mention red onions and chipotle sauce. And a vanilla milk. Oh, and a great view too. There's a couple of register casings here. One's a glass jar with a lid that's busted. So the stuff inside is pretty much weathered to death. The other one's this typical SPS aluminum cylinder. It has a newer register starting in 2012. Another one that starts in 1974. There's Bob. I was just flipping through this newer book, see who all was in here. Look who I found. Good old Pat. She was busy in 2013. Guess just a little too busy. There's my entry. Previous entry was back in May, saying they spread the ashes of their kitty cat. I've hiked down about as far as I feel comfortable on the side of the dome facing Tehipite Valley. So that's about as good of a view as I can get of it from here. Silver Spray Falls should be somewhere down here, but apparently you can't see it from here. Not without getting real dangerous real fast. Breeze feels good though. It was getting a little bit warm up on top. So there you have it. The Yosemite without the crowds. It's like a pretty nice beach. Unfortunately, it's on the wrong side of the river. You come in from the right, probably down this steep slope of trees. I do see some waterfalls on Crown Creek over here, but I can see them from the top. Probably about time to head back up there. I think this is about as far I'm going to go on this edge too. So here's the waterfalls. That looks like the bigger one, and the lowest one that I can see. There's a middle one. A few more little ones up there further. There's a look at the river way down there. This is more the upstream side now. Just found a rather unusual flower up here. That's a harvest brodea. Pretty high to be seeing them. But I guess I won't complain. Well, I think the time has come to say farewell. Before I go though, I did look up on the map. This is Crystal Creek coming down this canyon here. And the next one over, this is the Gorge of Despair with the Silver Spur on its right, looking at it from this side. And that's probably Mount Harrington up at the top. It'd be nice if there was a little more water coming down there. And you have the Eagle Spur probably with the Eagle Peaks up there on the top. And that one out there is probably Wren Peak. You can see that easily from 180 going into Cedar Grove. Speaking of which, I thought I spotted it. Thought I could see a road cut out over there. Unless that's the Hume Lake Road. Hume Lake might be right in there. Does that look like some water coming down the Gorge of Despair? It does. It's in for some big drops. Back at the crux move now. Should be fun. This is what I mean. You can't really see where you're going to step onto until you're almost there. There it is. Still no picnic though. The trekking pole should be waiting for me down there. So instead of a typical walking to the edge, how about a walking on the ledge? That looks pretty hard to get up. And a big penalty if you mess up. I doubt you'd make it to the Kings River though. That's okay, I don't need to go any further. Time to head back, I'm getting pretty thirsty. Farewell to Tehipite Dome. Before I go though, one last flower sighting. Penstemons with a view. And oh, what a nice view it is. There's those mountains far in the distance in that direction. Not exactly sure what they are though. I was trying to make out canyons. One of them might be Cartridge Creek's canyon. Or it might be the South Fork when you go between Gray Pass and White Pass on the high route. Used trail I picked up on the way in led me all the way back to this little crossing here. But then I lost it as I was going through, so I don't know which way I'm supposed to go now. Guess I'll just head up again. I decided to try and do exactly what I was trying to avoid on the way in. Yeah, my mouth's getting a little dry. I'm dropping down rather than trying to circle around. But sometimes it has its benefits. Seen a lot of rather tired snowflowers today. This one looks pretty good. Just came to the other crossing, the one I was kind of hurrying down to. Filtered some water, drank a lot of it. Had about a third of a bottle now. Hopefully that should be enough to get me to Crown Creek where I can really rehydrate. Slogging up this hill is pretty brutal. but I think it's easier on my feet than side hilling across it. Sometimes I try to mix a little bit of both to head for the flatter spots. And sometimes you see really cool things along the way. The size of that one. Of course, it helped that I purposely climbed the hill straight up towards it so you could see it. With my fingers pointed, it just about reaches up to my elbow. That's pretty tall. I'm back at this saddle that I marked as Tehipite Dome saddle, just because it's the saddle I went over on the way to Tehipite Dome. Still a little ways away from it, but I should be back on the trail pretty soon. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm back on the trail. What little of a trail it is out here. Came back right here by this great big tree. Oh, and there's that big rock stack that kind of marks probably where you should take off, so that was pretty close. This part of the trail has been a little overgrown by the buckthorn. It's a short distance though. And there is a silver lining if you look close enough. I think that's nightshade. I remember that being along here from 2 years ago. Now leaving Kings Canyon. Short but sweet visit. Been hanging out down here at Crown Creek for about the last hour. Got nice and rehydrated. Took a nice little soaking. This nice pool right here. Nice, nice, nice all around. I've eaten my second sandwich, drank my strawberry milk, had a little sugar boost, ready to power back up this hill. Looks like there's a couple more buildings here. My GPS says this is Deer Meadow. I thought I saw another building, maybe it's just this pile of logs over here. I've made the 3 stream crossings. Probably time to climb some more hill. Farewell, Kettle Dome. Hope to see you again next time. Well, looks like it's flattening out a little bit. But I know there's still more to climb to get back up to Crown Valley. Now we're starting to flatten out. Finally getting into Crown Valley. This morning I saw some Mariposa lilies wrapped up. Looks like one of them's still open. Yeah, I'm hoping this means no more deadfall across the trail. There sure is a lot of it down that way now, towards Blue Canyon. I guess that's what they mean by unmaintained. So here's hoping for a trip next year to visit the valley. Definitely not as a day hike from the trailhead though. Hopefully there's a short backpacking trip with a day hike in between. Oh boy, wouldn't Mom love this? I wouldn't like the mosquitoes though. Ah, isn't that a sight for sore eyes or dry mouths? Nice and cold too. Some more nice lupine at this stream that was cooling off my Gatorade all day. And a nice big leopard lily too. Look at all those flowers. It's like a couple of them just opened too. I almost missed this building on the way in. Looked back just in time to barely see it. I was looking for it this time. Still climbing out of Crown Valley. Past this junction on the way in too, it caused a little bit of confusion last time. All my maps call that meadow Statham, as in S-T-A-T-H-A-M, not T-U-M. So I guess whoever made the sign got it wrong. Should be coming up to Crown Hill next. Yeah, it's a bit of a grind, but it's a short one at least. So this should be the highest point. It's not all downhill from here, but it's more down than up now. Coming up to the wilderness boundary. Once again, the trail is lined with lupine. Very pretty. Got the Laker colors going on here. Even in the middle of the split trail. It's not even all out yet. Gee, the lupine stopped just about as the wilderness did. Although I think there's some more. I'm assuming that still exempts day hikers. And unfortunately, you can't bring your hang glider in here either. I managed to survive the mosquitoes long enough to pump some water to bring home. So now my backpack is probably heavier than when I started this morning. Some shooting stars and the lupine's back. And even some ranger buttons. I think these guys typically come out later in the season. So I guess it's later now. I'm back. I was racing the clock trying to get back by sunset. I missed it by less than a minute. My GPS was counting down to 0, and I could see the cars. So as the day started off, I thought that the 28 miles Bob said was a little bit of an overestimation. And when I got out to Tehipite Dome, my GPS said 14.2. So it was looking like it was pretty spot on. So here's what it came to. Just over 29 miles. Yikes. Just over 16 hours.